Good morning and welcome to the daily devotion for Friday, May the 8th. As you know, or men, I hope you know, Sunday is Mother's Day. So I want to begin with a short video about mothers and some of the things and pressures that they deal with.
Dad, camera, put it down. You cannot take a picture with the top of your head. Dad, that's not helping. Can you smell that in there? Can you not wait 5 minutes?
Oh, hey, if you're going in there, you're gonna want that. Love you.
All right, take the picture there. Look as pitiful as you can.
Oh my God, Mom, this is embarrassing.
Take the shot. If
This
you're
is
first in the
embarrassing.
picture, just do
It's
it. Don't
hot.
worry about that.
It is hot.
Babe, please.
I want pizza.
We're not having pizza. I'll give you ice cream if you try.
It doesn't matter if it's
Well, you don't even know.
It
You haven't
tastes
tried.
bad. Well, it doesn't taste good.
Mom, then clean the house down.
Thank you, Kayla.
Well, we want pizza.
Well, we're not having pizza.
We just get these.
Well,
You know, often we feel pressure to keep up with other people around us, and I definitely think women feel that pressure as well. Men, it's sometimes to be impressive and have the best boats and the most impressive toys, but for women, so often revolves around the homes and their kids and the things that go on in their life. And what we want to do is we want to have the best possible family, and we want everything to be perfect. But let's just be honest. It's not always possible to be perfect. In fact, I'm going to say it's seldom possible to be perfect. So don't give into this pressure. Um, you know, often other people, they're putting these impressions on Facebook, and it's not really real. They put the most idealized version of themselves up there, or they spent so much money to try to impress you and other people like you that they're going broke and they have no future. So let's be sure that we keep it in balance. For women, I want to say, be the wife, be the woman that God has called you to be. Proverbs chapter 31, beginning in verse 10 says this: an excellent wife who can find. Let me just say this first and foremost. You need to be the wife that God called you to be. And so you may ask, what do I have to do to be that excellent wife? Do I have to be perfect and keep the house in perfection? Do I have to have the best job? Well, I would say simply this: be the helpmate God called you to be. In Genesis, it says God created a helpmate suitable for them. Joy, my wife, is the perfect complement to me. She wouldn't be the right person for someone else. Now, I'm happy because I want to keep her for me. But we need to be sure that we are the person God created us to be, because when we're that person, then we complement our spouse. I compliment my wife compliments me. And so let me also say this: men, don't forget how wonderfully lucky to have a wonderful wife you are. And so show her your appreciation. It says a little bit later in that verse, she is far more precious than jewels. Um, do you value her the way God intended you to do? Do you value her like you do jewels? And so we want to be sure we honor her and all that. We need to learn to trust one another. It says in verse 11, the heart of her husband trusts in her. I believe that trust goes both ways. We're talking about Mother's Day, so men, we need to learn to trust our wives, and wives, we need to learn to trust our husbands. And part of that learning to trust is to be trustworthy ourselves. And those two work together, and as they interrelate, they make that relationship stronger. They make that marriage stronger. They make you as a family stronger. So be that trustworthy person that God has called you to be. The second part of verse 11, it says, and he will have no lack of gain. When I got married, the scripture that we dealt with, it says two are better than one because they have a good return on their work. I have found that having my spouse makes my life better. We do more together than we could apart. And let me say, she drives me nuts sometimes because she sees the world differently. But that isn't a weakness, that's a strength. And we are to bring out those things that help build each other up. We had just started a marriage class when all this pandemic came out. And one of the premises in the marriage class was that part of a marriage was to bring out the flaws in the other person. And that wasn't like unintended, but God put our spouse there to make us better and to show us our flaws so we could be the better people. And so I want to encourage you to be that person that God intended you to be, and to help your spouse be that person that God would have them to be. Verse 13, it says, verse 12, excuse me, she does him good and not harm all the days of her life. Women, your marriage is going to be so much better when every day you're seeking the good of your husband, the good of your children. And husbands, the marriage is going to be so much better, and your life is going to be so much better when you're seeking the good of your wife and the good of your kids. You know, there's an old saying that says, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. You know, there's truth to that. We want to do good to our wife. You know, it's not mentioned in this part, but as I think about this, a key element to having a good marriage and doing good means we forgive. I do spend much more time with my wife than I do my kids and I do my coworkers, and we have to forgive one another because we make mistakes. I want to encourage you to forgive and build up your marriage. God has blessed you with something excellent in your spouse. And God can do great things through your spouse, but you've got to work together with them. Don't try to be like other people, but be the people God has called you to be. Thank you. You have a blessed day.